So this was the last thing I was expecting to happen. SNK decided to drop a little a new system, apparently. New system mechanic, I presume, called Advanced Strike. Now, I know nothing about this, and I have no idea what to expect. The best thing I could think of is it's like another form of Shatter Strike. Maybe it'll be like, I don't think they would do something crazy like have something from like similar to Rage of the Dragons where you get like a deadly rave after a CD. Who knows? I had a dream once that they were CDs, like, blowback attacks that you could hold down and charge to make stronger. And, I predicted in one of my dreams that the Smash Bros. Ultimate roster color would be red. So who knows? Maybe my dreams do predict the future. But I have no idea what Advanced Strike is. So we're gonna have to see. Let's see what this is. What? Advanced Strike is a great new way to fend off throws and physical blows. It is more suited for offense than regular Shatter Strikes. Wait, does it launch? No, it doesn't. It crumples. What? Okay. So it's quarter circle backward blowback. Hold on, I gotta read this. Form an advanced strike with quarter circle backward blowback. Maneuver costs half a power gauge a bar. So it's like Shatter Strike. Advanced strikes are slower to come out than traditional Shatter Strikes. Still, you'll regain half a bar meter on hit or block. Okay, this was completely different than I thought. It looks sick as fuck. Advanced strikes send foes flying on hit and cause a hard knockdown. Follow-ups aren't normally possible, but you'll be well placed for more offense. So it gives you Oki. Even if your advanced strike is blocked, you still get to act first. Guard crush values are higher than other moves too. So keep the pressure up. Is it a way to open up your opponent? The biggest difference between Advanced Strike and Shatter Strike is the former gains a counter hitbox against throws partway through. Okay, so this is even more like a drive impact or focus attack than Shatter Strike is. So it even zooms in like a fucking drive impact. So there's several more minutes of this. I don't know if we're going to get a tease of new characters. I doubt it. There's like a 99% chance we don't. But yeah. I gotta see what this does in action. This counter is effective against normal throws and most command throws. It doesn't work against certain command throws with in-air hitboxes. Okay, good to know. The counter will freeze your foe and result in a successful advanced strike hit. If the attack lands while the counter is active, they'll crumple onto the ground. So like a Shatter Strike, but it is almost exactly like a drive impact, where if you just hit your opponent without it countering, it will just hard knock down them and they can't do anything about it. I don't know if it's going to affect anything if they're close to the wall, though. Wow, that does a lot of damage. Like, I don't know if Follow-ups are possible after your opponent crumples. Note that the combo scaling value are higher than Shatter Strikes, though. Oh, okay. So... Okay, okay. Good to know. You can do that, by the way? Follow-ups are possible after your opponent crumples. Note that the combo scaling values are higher than Shatter Strike. So that was Shatter Strike. Hold on. The movement has a guard point partway through, making it effective against physical blows too. Okay. Guard point occurs later than in Shatter Strike, but is active for longer. This lets you win out against most moves with invulnerability properties. No fucking way. And you're plus on block? Guard point occurs later than Shatter Strikes, but is active for longer. This lets you win out against most moves with invulnerability properties. You mean like... Oh my god. So we're going to have an anti-wake up DP move? Thank the heavens. Advanced Strike work well against both throws and physical blows. One drawback, however, is that the recovery is slow on whiff. Wait, I thought you said... Oh. If your foe avoids the Advanced Strike, such as by emergency evasion, you'll be prone to counterattack. Try to keep this in mind. So, it's plus on block when you hit it, from what I understand. However, if you force your opponent to use, say, emergency evasion, then you're kind of screwed. You're not screwed, because you're taking away an entire meter, or entire bar of meter from this person to use an emergency evasion. Meaning if your opponent wanted to do a full bar combo, or even a bar and a half combo, they are missing an entire bar, so their combo is not going to do nearly as much damage unless you're like on hell. If you're Angel, you don't play by the rules, but if you're on hell, you don't play by the rules, obviously. On hell, though, is very difficult to play, so you kind of get rewarded now. You won't be as open if the opponent attacks while your guard point is up. Counterattack attempts after a... Wait, okay. You won't be as open to the opponent's attacks while your guard point is up. Counterattack attempts after the emergency evasion will also fall through. Oh. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is their answer to Wake Up Throw. This is especially true at point-blank moments where normal or counter throws are all but a given on Wake Up, or after blocking a jump attack, for example. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any new characters or anything, but I think they're going to save that for Evo Japan or something. It looks super cool. Use Advanced Strike to overcome throws and blows, forcing the enemy to block. Then seize the opportunity and land a throw of your own. again, you'll regain meter and be able to keep up the offense even on block. This makes it easier to go for a guard crush during play. So, from my understanding, this is but I wouldn't say less or more risky version of Shatter Strike. This is like another version of Shatter Strike that is better on counter, because I think it does more damage than a Shatter Strike. And it'll just give you Oki instead of leading you into a scenario if like you just do it and you don't. Because with Shatter Strike, you don't know really what you're going to do. Well, you do know, but you have to be prepared for it, because you don't know if your opponent's going to block it, whether or not you're going to lose all of the meter because your opponent blocked it or you whiffed it. And you don't know if it's going to, if your opponent is going, if you're going to pre-fire it and your opponent jumps and you get just screwed because of it. But this one's kind of a, not really safer version, but it has its own risks, but is different. And I don't know if you can really combo with this one like you can Shatter Strike. Because you can combo with Shatter Strike, and it will crumple an opponent. Or wall bounce an opponent. But, yeah. I'm glad they're adding new system mechanics. I've been wondering if they were ever going to do that for this game. Oh, not to mention, I almost forgot because they just showed you the block strings of if your opponent is just loves to block and they have no meter left because they're playing too defensively and not that balance of offensive and defensive. Because KOF has always had a ton of defensive mechanics and offensive mechanics, but sometimes I find it very difficult to open up opponents in this game, and I feel like this is going to kind of help with that. But I feel like it's also going to be super dangerous. But with this new mechanic in play, I feel like I might get a lead up. When is this coming, though? Again, you'll regain meter and be able to keep up offense even on block. This makes it easier to go for a guard crush during play. Oh, okay. This was what we just saw. Hand strikes are a new way to bring the fight to your opponent. Just be wary of emergency evasions. Great. I know emergency evasions exist, but they cost a whole bar meter. Which, again, if you're the first character of the bunch, and you have to use emergency evasion, and you only have like a meter and a half because it's your first character, and you're not going to have immediately a ton of meter, you might just be screwed. Even with emergency evasion or like emergency counter. But yeah. Any word of when this is coming? Is that it? Oh, that was it. I was looking at the comments here. For those who are asking for Season 3, SK usually announces seasons or big content at events like SWC or EVO USA or EVO Japan. SWC is in March, EVO, and is in April. How far away is March? January? Okay, so like in a few months we might see. Yeah, no, I was not expecting to see a new mechanic today. But honestly, this is kind of a welcome. I think it's definitely difficult to open up opponents in this game. You've got a lot of defensive mechanics, but that's not the issue. It's the blocking and kind of getting your opponent to drop block. Because you really only have kind of guess or just get a 50-50 off of if somebody is going to block low, or if you trick someone into thinking you're going to block low but you do an overhead So, you know, those are kind of your really like reliable options to open people up. Obviously, other than a command grab or a grab, which grabbing in this game, well, I will say one button grabbing is definitely is like it's one of those things that I feel I accidentally do, but I feel like it's good that it's something you can accidentally do, and bad because you know sometimes I want to just do heavy punch, but that's besides. It's good to accidentally do because sometimes you just don't even realize that you're wake up grabbing, but either way, I think it's a good thing whether you accidentally do it or not. But that's again besides the point. And the other thing is it also answers this new mechanic answers the whole like what do you do against wake up grab on your opponent to get in on your opponent. So it kind of acts as solving kind of not really solving but like helping with two problems that I find myself in the game, and it's balanced in such a way where it's a good tool on block, right? Because you can it seems to be that you do a lot of damage on block with it, or like at least guard crush. So you're able to guard crush your opponent much easier with this. I mean, we have yet to play around with it, obviously. I find that this is going to be a lot. If it is what it seems like from that little block string that Shune did, this is going to be good. And it's a lot like a drive impact, which, you know, it's not really fair to say they stole it or anything, because that's not really true. I don't think they stole drive impact, because, I mean, even though there's the whole zoom in thing and there's the whole other thing, so Shatter Strike kind of is different from this in the fact that you can combo into Shatter Strike and kind of use it as a good counter tool, but this is a bit safer than when you throw it out, because with Shadow Strike you obviously have to do like you kind of have to time it, so you kind of have to pre-fire it and make sure your opponent isn't really blocking. It's not so slow to where like your opponent's going to immediately tell what's going on with like Shadow Strike, but it's also like there's more risk to it because people can still kind of guess if you're going to Shadow Strike and kind of like react accordingly. While with this, they're going to be able to react accordingly and block, but it's going to do a lot of guard damage. And if you're ready for them to block, or if you're ready for them to crumple, you'll just be able to follow up with something more reliable if you counter it. So the risk on like landing it is not as bad, because like a wall bounce is something you have to kind of expect, and I've seen people use Shadow Strike in some tactical ways throughout the game, but it's never been something people really use too much. And I have a feeling people are going to use this more as a defensive mechanic, just because the fact that it seems like it's a little more rewarding and gives you just a little bit more time to tell what's going on. Not to mention, there's the whole big zoom in thing, which gives you like a whole lot more like time to be like, oh, I got them. They crumpled. Instead of like, holy crap, I crumpled them. Now I gotta do something. I mean, as satisfying as it is to realize you landed something and then land a cool combo after successfully doing a Shatter Strike that you didn't combo into, is definitely super cool. This also, the whole thing of it, like if you just hit your opponent and it puts them further away from you, but you also have like Oki, is definitely good, just because of the fact that you'll have more time to realize what you're doing. And I have a feeling this is going to be interesting to see at something like Evo, or I'm trying to think. Evo, there's this other event I can't remember the name of. I don't really tune into it. It's like at I don't know, some other big fighting game event. I honestly can't remember it. I only really know about like Evo and like Capcom Cup. And even then I don't really watch Evo too much. With Evo, for me personally, it's a little bit of a side note. Usually I'll just tune in at like grand finals. I try to tune in at semifinals so I can kind of like have someone to root for, you know? But that's besides the point. I'm interested in how top players are going to be using this, and honestly, what their take is on it. I want to see. I hope Maximilian dude like makes a little video on this. I don't know if he's going to, because he kind of neglects this community quite a bit. But you know, it's whatever. He's a YouTuber and a father and all that. I don't expect him to follow a more niche fighting game community. So it's all right. But I definitely find that I think this is going to change the game up quite a bit, the meta of the game, because like this is just a whole ass new mechanic, and it straight up answers a few like questions of how to open up an opponent and how to deal with a heavily blocking opponent. And there's also an answer to this thing without it being like to while still being. It's like this mechanic seems on paper so far to be just balanced enough to where it's like you have options of other things than block, which is like emergency evasion, and I guess I'd assume a counter. I'm assuming like the Vanessa like duck and weave thing would work against this, where you could probably duck and weave under it, or probably one of Geese's counters would work. Maybe, maybe it would have some weird interaction with it. But if this works against command throws that aren't airborne, then I don't know. It's definitely more difficult in some ways. I find it more difficult sometimes than like playing 2002. And it's not like a complicated combo game. It's just that you do a lot of damage in this game. And then the people who do open you up are prepped for it because they've been playing all the time. But I mean, that's also a good thing because like it means that people are still playing this game and know what they're doing. So I don't know. I'm glad that I can still find people online in this game. I don't think this game is dead by any means, especially with the entire like community in like the comments and like on Reddit and everything talking about how they want a season 3. And I want a season 3. I want to see Shen. I want to see a crossover character like I'd be fine with Ryu. I'd like to see how Ryu plays in a game like this, but I'm sure people would like to see someone else. Probably either Luke or JP, or they'd go with like Chun-Li, probably. It's probably either going to be a World Warrior or one of the main Street Fighter 6 characters, if they were to choose a crossover character. But there's also a lot of KOF characters we'd like to see, and Fatal Fury characters we'd like to see. But I'm assuming they're going to leave all the Fatal Fury stuff to for City of the Wolves, which would honestly be better in my opinion than just putting them in KOF, because it might be more like you get all this the Fatal Fury fans super excited for the new Fatal Fury characters without like devaluing it too much by making it feel like they just took stuff from assets from KOF 15 or something. But yeah, but I definitely am excited to try out this new mechanic. I think it's going to be a game changer, like a big game changer. And yeah, I had honestly no idea what to expect from it. It's like Shatter Strike Plus, right? It isn't Shatter Strike, and it has completely different things to Shatter Strike, but at the same time, it looks like a way cooler Shatter Strike. It's better, but now that I've like looked at it and seen like the drawbacks and the pluses, you kind of get the actual feel of the differences of this. But yeah, I think Advanced Strike looks cool. I think it will be a very good but balanced mechanic. Obviously, because it costs meter, and it's not like Street Fighter 6 like meter regenerates. So yeah, hopefully me rambling about this didn't get too repetitive or anything. I'm definitely interested in seeing just how this will affect the game's meta and all that. Anyway, I will see you all in the next video. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. As I said previously, let me know what you guys think of Advanced Strike, and tell me, do you think it's going to be a big game changer? Do you think it's going to be super crazy? I guess I'm going to go get to editing this video and try and get it out before any other people do. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and goodbye.